before I came to university, I used to play a lot in rock bands and jazz bands, and I guess part of me always wanted to be a musician, but the I don't know, the other part of me said it's not going to happen straight off the bat. You should do something technical to pad it up, and I'm glad I made that decision because I've gotten so much more out of doing the techie side while still being able to pursue like my musicianship outside of university or even inside university, because I've recorded myself a few times, which is great. And then being at university and seeing the breadth and depth of the audio industry and having the fantastic opportunity to do a placement in the film industry, you know, there's so many things you could choose to do. But I guess from my personal experiences, I feel like I want to go into advertising audio in cinema or TV, just because it's a fast-paced, exciting and like, I don't know, loud industry, I guess. You know, so there's always a fresh project coming along that you never work on the same thing for that long, so that really excites me. That's what I'm doing.
But what I got from the course was just an extensive knowledge of how basically the whole recording process works from start to finish. Like, it covers everything. The science part of it covers the technological aspect, the digital aspect of it. You learn obviously the recording end, how to record musicians, which is what you expect when you come to a course like this. But you also learn things that you don't think you need to know. Like, for instance, now if I'm in a studio, if I'm in a work situation and something breaks or something goes wrong, I might not be able to fix it, but I know exactly what's wrong, rather than just fumbling around and worrying about it.
I mean, I certainly have had experience where I feel like I don't really know something, and then I've had to go to my tutor and be like, oh, can you explain this to me? And they're more than happy to do that. Very accommodating. I think that's the key thing to underline.
Basically, it's how it should be, I think. Like, you can always email someone and you always get a reply. You can always go bump into a tutor in the corridor and just ask them that quick question and get an answer. You know, it's just the right environment.
Because I have friends on other like music technology courses around the country, and I've noticed that they're just in bigger groups, whereas I think a lot of focus on at BCU, especially on all the media courses, is that you have the experience of the labs. Like, you have labs and tutorials where you split into smaller groups of between like possibly just 8 people, possibly 6 people, sometimes maybe 10 or 12, whatever. But that kind of amount where you can be taught individually at your level, rather than like, as said before, they're really accommodating the fact that you can be taught at the level you're at, not at the level that somebody else sat in the room. Because if you've got hundreds of people, they can't teach you all individually. Whereas I think on these courses, they're able to see what level you're at, see what you need to know, and see like what the best way to teach you is, and how they should approach the teaching of you as a person, rather than just you're a student. They teach you as a person, personally.
The fact that the course is over 2 faculties is definitely the reason why I went for the course specifically, because it was the variation of location. I disliked the thought of being stuck in one building for 3 years, you know, and then also the fact that both locations like focused on things quite specifically, and that Millennium Point is quite your techie and industry side, whereas at the Conservatoire you've got more of the creative side, and you've got access to all these incredible postgraduate and graduate musicians and undergraduate musicians, and being able to record them, and you know, it's just the difference and variety that made it definitely a good choice.
I've really got almost a buzz out of recording musicians now. I never thought I'd actually have that personally, because I come from very much a producing background and I've always been behind the scenes. But to be actually there, sort of working with musicians, it's quite exciting to have the ability at the Conservatoire, especially, to be able to interact with them. You know, just go up to them when they're practicing. I think that's quite unique on the course, and I think that's very beneficial for us, especially because it means you get the best out of your work. Because you can get the best performers.
It's not all to do with your uni work as well. Like, you can actually use the studios to do personal work, because I know that I record loads of my own stuff that I've written. I collaborate with loads of like artists at Conservatoire now, just because they're there and they want to work with you on things. So I can, I've got lots and lots of recordings that are going to contribute towards my personal work that I can take with me. That's not even just something I can put on a portfolio. That is something I've done for myself or for the future, for my career, maybe as a musician, as a performer. With live music in Birmingham, I think the main thing is as mentioned with the actual nightlife itself, it's really diverse. You've got jazz bars, you've got rock bars, you've got metal bars, and then you have got your standard like O2 Academy and Institute.
Which are high quality as well.
Yeah, very high quality.
Like, for your big bands, they're really good. Yeah. And you've also got the massive venues like the NIA and the NEC. You know.
That makes life really easy when you want to see like the massive, like when you see stadium bands, there aren't as many cities that can instantly be like, right, well, this major stadium is on your doorstep.
Yeah.
And it's just smack in the middle of the centre. It's wicked. I think for me, the course has offered me, or it's given me a much larger degree of focus. When I first joined, I studied a couple of social sciences and music tech. And I thought, great, I'm going to be a sound engineer, I'm going to go and be a balancing engineer in a new studio, live the dream. But now that I'm on the brink of finishing, after doing the industry placement and everything in between, I now know that I want to go into film post-production. And from the word go, I would never have expected a course like this to have changed my idea of what I'm capable of doing and what I want to do so much and so drastically.
Yeah, and I've got to record the Birmingham Philharmonic Orchestra twice in third year, which has been fantastic. Just sort of huge opportunities that you wouldn't get access to if you weren't in maybe a big institution such as the university, and such a specific course as well.
I never thought that I could say by the end of my degree I've worked with a Grammy-winning artist, 6 times Grammy-winning artist. I mean, and people who have actually got a name, musicians who have got a name for themselves and come to the uni rather than me going to them. They've came to us, and we've had the chance to either record them or at least work with them, or maybe get a masterclass with them to learn what they've experienced in their careers.
Doing recording, doing film sound especially, I think I'd like to get involved in film post-production, film music, and just anything to do with sort of TV, that sort of genre. It's not necessarily like producing commercial music anymore. I think it's working in that sort of big industry, media industry. I think sort of also the business side of things as well. That really interests me now, I think, and I sort of didn't really get an appreciation for that until I came to university. I think it's really firmed me up on what I want to do.
I think the university has helped with employability rates, certainly with our course anyway. By offering things like we get CV workshops, we get guest lecturers coming in. We've had a recruitment agency came in just to tell us, look, sign up with us, it's free, and we will try and at least get you an interview. And the university has done quite a lot.
It does a lot.
It's kind of been all gathering up to the final year, but it's like they've been drip feeding us into how to make us into good little interviewers and good people to write a CV and just really personable people. Because our course is quite widely known as being a very varied and very broad across the spectrum, rounds you out as a person course. There are a lot of employers now that I think are aware of that, and you can see the name Birmingham City Uni, Music Tech BSc, and there are people now who'll go, right, okay, I know the calibre of graduates off of that course now.